In my last video, I talked about how if you buy too much gold or silver at once, then you will have to fill out an IRS form. But did you know that if you sell too much gold or silver at once, you will also need to fill out an IRS form? In this video, we're talking about what that form is and how to avoid having to fill it out. All right, let's do it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I know that a lot of us who are stacking physical precious metals, we don't intend to sell them for a long period of time. Perhaps we don't intend to sell them for a number of years, or maybe we hope to pass them on down to our children and never sell them at all, right? Well, eventually someone is going to sell your precious metals, whether that be you or your spouse or your kids, who knows, but eventually someone's going to cash out. And when they do, they should be aware that if you sell too much at once, they will have to fill out an IRS form. Now, filling out an IRS form is not necessarily the end of the world, right?
We are gonna die. I'm out of here.
But let's be real here. I don't think anyone wants to give the IRS more information than they have to. So this video is just going to be about the form that you may or may not be required to fill out when you're selling your precious metals and how to avoid having to fill out that form. So here is a look at the 1099B form from 2022, and obviously this could change slightly in years to come, and the threshold for when you will have to fill out this form could change as well. We will talk about the exact number of ounces of gold or silver that you would have to sell in a moment, but first I just wanted to show you all of the stuff you will have to put on the form. This would be incredibly annoying to have to fill out. I mean, you need your name, address, phone number, social security number, all that kind of stuff. And then over here, the date that you acquired your gold and silver, the date that you sold your gold and silver, proceeds and, short-term gain, all that kind of stuff, profit, all of this tax stuff you're going to have to fill out. I understand why these forms exist. They want to crack down on money laundering and, people smuggling in gold and silver and then selling it for cash. But for the average stacker to have to fill one of these out would just be brutal. So anyway, let's get to all of the rules and, when you'd have to fill them out. Here we are once again at the SD Bullion website. And before we jump into the topic, again, I want to mention they are doing a giveaway. You can see that on the right-hand side of your screen. 500 American Silver Eagles. I know some of you have not entered yet. If you want to check it out for yourself, I will put a link down below in the description. Okay, let's get back to the topic of the video. Why are certain bullion sales to precious metal dealers reportable? Now, this isn't just to an online bullion dealer. This would be to a dealer in person, like at a coin shop. So in the early 1980s, the IRS began requiring coin and precious metal dealers to report purchases from non-corporate sellers, like private customers, that's you and me. These current precious metal IRS 1099B quantity thresholds and product types trace back to when they fulfilled commodity contracts on existing approved exchanges at the time. Sales of precious metals for a single customer during a 24-hour period must be aggregated and treated as a single sale to determine if this exception applies. This exception does not apply if the precious metal dealer knows or has reason to know that a customer, either alone or with a related person, is engaging in sales to avoid reporting. So if you sell a certain amount within a 24-hour period, or if, for example, you and your wife both sell, a specific amount, but it adds up to the amount required to fill out the form, they're probably going to make you fill out the form. So let's go look at the different metal types. Now this says sales reporting when selling bullion online, but again, this counts for online or in person. When individuals sell their bullion to a domestic US-based precious metal dealer, there are quantity and bullion product sales to dealer thresholds for their required IRS 1099B form filings. All right, so let's just look into this. These are the types of precious metals and the quantities that would trigger this form. So the first one is going to be gold bars or rounds. And they do have a minimum fineness here, but that doesn't really matter so much because pretty much all of this bullion is going to be, 3 nines fine or 4 nines fine. So, I don't really pay too much attention to the fineness, but the reportable amount is 32.15 troy ounces or more. Now, why did they pick this number for gold bars or rounds? Well, simply because a 1 kilo gold bar is going to be 32.151 troy ounces. So if you sell a kilo gold bar to any dealer in America, you're going to have to fill out a 1099B form. So this is kind of why I don't recommend buying kilo gold bars, because you're always going to have to fill out the form. Okay, the next one on the list is silver bars or rounds, and the quantity is 1,000 troy ounce or more. So those big Comex silver bars that are 1,000 troy ounces. A lot of the time they're a little bit heavier than 1,000 troy ounces. Maybe it'll be like 1,026 ounces or something like that. Because when they pour them, they're not always exactly 1,000 ounces. If you sell one of those Comex bars, you're going to have to fill out this form, right? So, and this goes for rounds too. If you sell 2 monster boxes of silver rounds, which would be 1,000 ounces, you're also going to have to fill out this form. So just keep that in mind. This kind of is unfortunate because it would be cool to pick up one of those massive Comex bars, but I guess I'll never be adding one to my stack. All right, let's scroll down. Next up, we have platinum bars and rounds. 25 troy ounces or more. Notice it doesn't say anything about platinum coins. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in a moment. Palladium bars, they have it listed as 100 troy ounces or more. That is kind of ridiculous. I mean, who's going to be selling 100 troy ounces of palladium, at once? They obviously made these rules a long time ago. Palladium is now worth more than platinum. It's worth more than gold. So it's kind of weird that they have the threshold set there, but I guess that doesn't really matter. Let's look at the specific types of gold coins now and silver coins that would trigger a 1099B form. The first is gold maple leafs, 1 ounce coins in 25 troy ounces or more. So if you sell 20 1 ounce gold maple leafs, you're not going to have to fill out the form. It's only if you sell 25 or more at once. Okay, and the reason they have maple leafs is because our country to the north, our neighbor is Canada, and obviously people could be smuggling gold in from Canada and then selling it for cash, and so that's why they have the maple leafs listed. The next is the gold Krugerrands, same quantity, 25 troy ounces or more. Gold Krugerrands are like the oldest gold coin that exists, the oldest gold bullion coin. I'm not talking about, back in the 1800s or even earlier, some of the ancient coins. But as far as bullion coins go, the Krugerrand was pretty much the first one. And so there's a lot of Krugerrands around the world. They're extremely popular. And, people could be smuggling those in as well. And then the third one is the gold Mexican Onza coins. These are like your Libertads. 25 ounces or more. So obviously people could be smuggling gold in from Mexico. And then the last one on the list is actually US 90% silver coin bags, which would be your constitutional silver or junk silver, 1,000 face value bag. All right. So I'm assuming that's $1,000 face value or more will trigger the form. So if you're going to be selling junk silver, just have it portioned out in like $500 face value bags, I guess, and then you'll be totally fine. So there is a list also of coins that will not trigger the form, and I'll show you those in a second, but here's kind of a picture of everything that will trigger the form. It's kind of funny. I think they messed up on this photo because for Palladium, if you sell Palladium coins in any amount, it won't trigger the form, but they have a Palladium eagle there. I know it looks like a Mercury dime, but that's what the Palladium eagles look like. So I don't know. They probably need to redo this picture. But here are the products that will not trigger the form. So basically, anything that wasn't listed, you can sell in any quantity, and you won't have to fill out one of those forms. And they just have some of the popular ones listed here. So we got American Silver Eagles, America the Beautiful coins, Noah's Ark silver coins, Philharmonics, Britannia's, silver maple leafs in any quantity, silver pandas, silver libertads. New Zealand has a lot of silver stuff, and then Perth Mint as well. And then for gold, you can sell any quantity of American Gold Eagles, American Gold Buffaloes, Gold Philharmonics, Britannia's, Gold Pandas, and then Australian gold coins as well. For platinum, there's no limit to selling platinum coins, and for palladium, there's no limit as well. Now, I know many of you are thinking I'm probably never going to have a stack big enough to even reach any of those thresholds, so I don't have to worry about this. Well, you never know what the future holds, and it's always nice to know you should avoid certain bullion items because they would automatically trigger this form. For example, the 1 kilo gold bar or the 1,000-ounce silver bar, and I know a lot of us are stacking constitutional silver, and over time you definitely could work your way up to $1,000 face value, so that's something to be aware of as well. Obviously, you could just sell it in a lower quantity, and you're not going to have to fill out the 1099B form, but this is definitely something you should be aware of. If you missed my video where I talk about how much gold or silver you would need to purchase in order to trigger an IRS form, definitely go check out that video. I will put a link up in the corner as well as a link down below in the description of this video. And I also want to say that it is very possible that the government will change their rules on how many ounces of certain bullion types will actually trigger the 1099B form. You never know what they could change it to. I mean, they could say any 100-ounce silver bars or 10-ounce gold bars or just 10 ounces or more of gold will trigger the form. Who knows what they could change it to? So I always recommend stacking in 1 ounce increments. 1 ounce gold coins, 1 ounce silver coins. That way, if you ever need to sell, you could just sell a little bit and it's not going to cause any waves. You know, you're not going to have to fill out any forms. I do think it's really important to try and remain anonymous with your purchases as well as your sales of precious metals. There's no reason you need to be broadcasting this to anyone, especially the government. So what do you think about all this? Do you think they will change the rules at some point in the future? Feel free to leave a comment down below in the comment section. I want to say a massive thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons out.